Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Club Live here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. It is ridiculously warm in Scotland, so you will excuse us if tonight's show might be slightly briefer for health reasons more than anything else, because, as I've said a million times, I sit in a cupboard when I do this. We are live on Facebook tonight. Facebook? No, we're not. We're live on YouTube tonight, and we're live on Twitter. So get yourself subscribed to the YouTube channel, get yourself involved in the live chat as we discuss all things Rangers. I am Scott Carney. Joining me tonight, first of all, is Ross McLean. Ross, how are you?
Good evening, gents. It's very, very good to be on. See whoever invented heat, by the way. Absolute numpty. An absolute numpty. It is boiling. It's a good thing that I didn't promise Justin last week that I'd put on my warm hat. So I picked a good week for it. So yes, it's good to be on, gents, as always. So let's get straight into it.
He's delivered. He has delivered. He might be a week late, but he has delivered. He's a bit like an every delivery driver, but he gets there. It just takes him a bit of time to get there. Scott Gemmell, Scotia, how are you?
Yeah, evening, Karen. Evening, everyone. Yeah, good. Been a wee bit ill this week, so I'm just starting to feel slightly better. What happened there?
I think your Wi-Fi's on the go slow, mate. It's all right, you'll catch up, mate. Give it about 30 seconds and you'll catch up. Tends to be. It's probably a bit too warm for your Wi-Fi, I would imagine.
I know what it is. The heat's getting to it.
Yeah. You'll catch up. And Ali Pearson. Ali, how are you?
Yeah, just the same as the rest of you. He's very hot. Mr. Gemmell better be in prime form tomorrow because he's got a big adventure tomorrow. So get your strength up, Gemmell. I need you fit and healthy for tomorrow. Yes, I don't think his Wi-Fi's fit and healthy at the moment, though.
No. His roll boy's probably passed out on that bike, but it is very warm. Hopefully Scotia's set up, one of the water bottles that hamsters get. I would hope that there's one there for his dad while he's pedaling that bike trying to get the Wi-Fi to work. But yes, it is rather warm tonight, and we do have a day out tomorrow, but we'll come to that later on in the show. So we'll get straight into things, and we'll speak about all of the Rangers things, really mostly about transfers. But GASSAMA signs on a year-long loan deal. He'd recently been signed. We discussed it last week on the show. He recently been signed by Wolves for about £10 million. We'll see a right future for him. They believe that he'll be part of the plans going forward, but as of right now, they want him to be playing consistent football. Ross, it's safe to say, as I say, with this signing coming in, this is another centre-half that we've signed, and he's coming in to play. There's absolutely no doubt that he is coming in to play. Might be looked at as a bit of a coup for Rangers, but right now, I can't really grumble at the business that Russell Martin's doing.
No, not at all. And it is well welcomed. Another centre, but a tall one as well. I believe he's 6 foot. Got it here, 6'1". That's him. So it's some well needed height at the back. He's played as much as he didn't play a lot of football for Wolves last season. At Belgrade, their Champions League run, they were playing your Barcelonas. They were playing the top teams. So he's been about, and obviously a team like Belgrade, we know ourselves. We've seen obviously Rangers go out to Belgrade. It's not an easy place to go to, so he'll be an experienced set of shoulders on him, that's for sure. Really liked his interview as well. Just seems like a very genuine, humble guy. So yeah, listen, if there's ever a sign that he gets stuck about, the boy split his head open in a passing drill. That never happened. Well, it was Rangers, of course, so there's going to be an injury involved. But literally, the first sighting of him was him with a headband around him. So it's some promising signs. He'll get stuck in there. So yes, welcome to the club, and just mind your head, son. Mind the old head.
Yeah, it made reference. It was the assistant manager had said to, or the assistant head coach to, what's his name? Gill? Is it Gill?
Yeah. Right.
I want to say Matt Gill. Is that the right guy? Is it Matt Gill? Is that his name?
Oh,
Matt Gill, yeah, we need to check it. Somebody will tell me, but I'm sure it's Matt Gill. But anyway, he did say, he's physical. And I was like, physical? Splitting your head open a passing drill is quite a thing to do. When the ball's on the ground for the majority of that drill, to split your head open is quite good going. Scotia, your thoughts on another centre-half signing? As I say, it's a decent name for Rangers to be linked to, a decent calibre of player for Rangers to be linked to. Obviously, he's got a price tag on him. I know he is only here for an initial loan deal, and it will only be that. Well, you never know, obviously, in the future, but you would imagine it is just for a year. But what's your take on the signing?
Another centre-back in the door, which I think we need. We could see last season that we were struggling at centre-back position, having to make use of Tav quite a bit. Comes in a loan. I would always prefer to get someone in permanently, I think, but I can see the benefits of this. played Champions League experience with Red Star Belgrade last season before he joined Wolves. I know they did take a few cuffings, Red Star last season, but Champions League experience, which is always helpful because we'll need that hopefully if we can do what we want to do in Europe. I think the deal makes perfect sense and like the look of it.
Ali, Scotia makes a point about obviously getting somebody in permanent. You would like to hope that you could get permanent deals for the majority of stuff. Ultimately, it isn't going to happen, and we probably don't get a player that comes with. He has got a lot of experience for the age that he is. He has played a lot of football. He's played at some pretty top level, but with a price tag around 10 million for him for a centre half, Rangers are not really going to spend 10 million on a centre half. That isn't going to happen. So in terms of the loan market, this is the kind of deals that you want to be doing. You want to have a player with a bit of prodigy about him, a bit of pedigree about him, a bit of what's the word I'm looking for? There's a prospect in him. There's quite a lot of hype around him. Obviously, he's out with our price band in terms of if we were to go right out and buy him. So for that, I'm like, good business for me.
Yeah, that's why it's two of our backline are loan signs with no obligation to buy or whatever it is for next season. So the loan market's there to be used. We've used it quite well recently with our front line. So using it with the backline desperately needs surgery. I still think we need another centre half in top of the two we've brought in, but I like the look of this guy. No nonsense defender. He's quick as well, which you need to. Good with ball at his feet. Yeah, again, ticks the boxes. Who plays beside him, I don't know. We don't know what sort of formation Russell Martin's going to play. Fernandes, I don't think he'll be a week in, week out player. I think he'll appear now and again, Fernandes. I think he's more of a prospect, if you want to say. So I still think we'll be in the market to bring somebody in to play with this boy, but he will start, this guy. Wolves aren't sending him up to Rangers to sit on our bench. So he will start. And I'm looking forward to seeing him because he ticks the boxes for what we've been looking for in a centre half. But then a lot of the players are ticking the boxes what Russell Martin's doing at the moment. So, I'll be delighted to see him in the park. And, it was good to see that he get his head cracked open in the first training session.
On a passing drill. A passing drill. How do you do that? Honestly, pretty good going. Pretty good going for him. Ali, I'll come back to you. We'll stick with the centre half area right now. Obviously, Russell Martin released it was kind of press day down at St George's today where he was asked a number of questions about a number of transfers, a number of names that have been linked and also about current players, and he mentioned that Rangers had accepted a bid for Robin Proper and it is up to him now. It's up to him to agree personal terms to go back to pretty much where he came from in that regard. Obviously Enciala also didn't travel down as well as Davies. He did not travel down to St George's, so they players are looking like they're on their way out. He also mentioned about James Tavernier and Max Aarons being able to be on the pitch at the same time. Now, reading too much into it, I don't believe Alan, quietly, thank you very much for becoming a member. Generally do appreciate that. Thank you so much. I don't want to go on about it too much because some guy somewhere had a rant about us begging for money, which is honestly bizarre, the fact that he thinks that we beg for money. But anyway, just thank you so much, mate. Really do appreciate you signing up to the channel. That's amazing support. But I don't want to kind of put words into Russell Martin's mouth in terms of where James Tavernier's going to play on the pitch, but we've seen him at centre half yet again at the weekend in the friendly. We've seen him at centre half. To me, you're not moving Aarons. Aarons isn't going to play as a winger. He's not going to play in the midfield. James Tavernier is versatile enough, I think, that he could play. I mean, really, I think we've never seen it, but I think he probably could play a 6, maybe. He's possibly got the attributes to do that. Whether he's got the legs to do that, I don't know anymore. Or he could become the centre half pairing. But with Russell Martin, I know you said that you would like for Rangers to go back into the market for another centre half, even if Proper, Davies and Enciala are all to go. Can you see James Tavernier being used as a centre half? Is that what Russell Martin was hinting at, do you think? And quickly, Gary, thank you so much for becoming a member as well. Really do appreciate that. And obviously Proper's going, Ali, so you must be delighted.
Proper. I was delighted to see him last Sunday with that performance he put, and that just showed us why he had to go. And why we signed that guy. The profile of him just doesn't fit Scottish football. He'll probably go back to 20 and do all right out in that league. Jim Sloan, a member for 35 long months, Jim. God. I appreciate your support, Jim. But no, I'm delighted to see. Well, he's not gone yet, properly. He needs to agree terms. But I'm glad to see we're getting rid of him. Ben Davies, I think we'll get rid of him quite easily. Birmingham, I'd like to think, would come in for him because he did really well there last season. Who's the other centre half you said didn't he come down? Nsiala, which was the one which I said last season I would have put him out on loan. Because I just, with what we are bringing in, I don't think he's good enough at the moment. But I'd like to see him have a year in Scotland with a team playing week in, week out. That's ideally what I would like to see if he can go out and do it. But yeah, in terms of Tav, I mean, we've seen him play there in the friendly at the weekend. There, he played there for whatever it was in the second half, beside Aaron's on the right. So I think he looks good at centre half. Tav, he played there last season. I think he looks comfortable. I think he reads the game very well. Good with the ball at his feet. He is 33 years of age, coming up 34, Tav, and you've seen players previously, not just for Rangers, with other teams, that the older they get, adjust where they play in the park quite a lot. So potentially a good position for Tav. I can see him playing other positions further up the park as well. I think he'll be potentially a versatile player for us this season in terms of other positions. But yeah, I thought he was. Well, we talked about it, Karen, when he came on against Bruges. I thought he was one of our best players in the park at centre half, which wasn't hard, to be honest, with the two that was on front of him in the first half. But
that's true.
I just thought he brought a bit of a composure to the back line. But I don't think he'll play there next season. I can see him playing there, but I don't think he'll play there week in, week out. We'll bring a guy in to play there, and I don't think it'll be John Suter.
Interesting. Scotia, what's your take on it? Obviously, I can see Curry and various others in the chat already kind of slamming Tavernier, and I only go based on what I see. When he came on the weekend there, Rangers immediately looked more composed, and I know there was a number of changes made. I do understand that, but in the day, if he's not going anywhere, it's a big wage to be sitting there doing nothing, so we might as well try and get the most out of him. I don't believe he'll be the first choice centre half. I don't believe he'll be the first choice right back, but I think he could be used in a bit of both, more in a kind of more rotation thing. And for the lesser games against teams in the lower half of the league, if you like, and if we're in a good run of form and Russell Martin does hit the ground running, then I see nothing wrong with Tavernier playing at centre half, because it's almost like a kind of deep lying playmaker that he'll be, because he's got a good range of passing on him. Tav, he'll have plenty of time on the ball to pick his pass. I can see the idea behind it, but what's your take? Is it Tavernier at centre half for you? Is he anywhere near first choice?
No, I think what you say there about maybe just in rotating between cuts right inside centre half, inside right centre half, and right back's probably going to be quite likely, I would imagine. He's as we said, he's impressed at centre back when he had to last season, but it wasn't difficult. I would rather get in an actual centre back that we can develop going forward. But I think he'll be playing in both those positions. When you said number 6 there, I don't know where you were going with that one, but no, I can't see him playing anywhere other than in the defence, really. And one thing to think about as well is we don't really know what formation Russell Martin's going to go with. I mean, the first game that we'll have is the game against Panathinaikos, and I can imagine, based on past experience, that the way we set up for that game is going to be very differently to the way not very differently, but significantly different enough in the way we set up in the league. So I don't think we'll really get a feel of things until mid-August and what's actually going to be happening with the team. We've only got, as well, apart from the Panathinaikos games, we've only really got one more friendly until the season starts.
Well, there's a few. I think there's going to be a few closed door games as well at St George's. I think there'll be a few arranged.
But we won't see that.
No, we don't see that, mate. No, you're right. You're spot on, because they don't want us to see that. So, which is fair, as I say, it is what it is. So, no, as I say, it'll be interesting. Ross, what's your take on it? Obviously, with the age that you are, mate, I know your feelings towards James Tavernier. He's kind of like the legend for you of the club, which is completely understandable. I believe that he is. Again, I get slated for it all the time, but I've always been a fan of Tavernier, and I do think when he came on at the weekend, he made a difference. I think he's someone that we should utilise and not try and push out, because I do believe that I get that he's defensively all over the place at times, and I get that he's getting to that age and whatever, but I still, a bit of me, maybe it is romanticism and pulling at heartstrings, but there's a bit of me that thinks I think he's still got a part to play. And obviously I use happy as ally by the fact that Robin Proper's leaving, because after Sunday's debacle, I'll call it, with Robin Proper, I will carry him to the Netherlands if he needs me to. I will carry him.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate one for Proper. It's just one that we'll look back to. It didn't work out, but he'll be known for that one goal against Celtic. We'll remember that, and we'll swiftly move on. So thank you, Robin, for the memories. With Tav, the boy's a talent. He's an absolute talent. As much as I'm the same with you, mate. I'll die in the hill. I'll back Tav, and I know he has his faults at some point. So does all players. Don't get me wrong, but he's the captain. He's always going to get it tight. I do think he can be utilised, definitely. You're spot on. Aaron's he's not coming up here to sit on the bench. I do also think that Tav, he's a good impact sub. He is. I think it was actually at Old Trafford. He wasn't a sub in the second half, but he moved to centre half in the second. He moved to centre half in the second half. There you go. And I don't know, he switched it up a bit, made a bit of a difference. Obviously, the weekend he came on and he changed the game, definitely. There's been a few times where that shift to centre back, we've looked back and went, you know what, that impacted the game positively. So I think there's definitely potential there to use him. And also when teams are tiring, as much as I know he probably won't like it, he's somebody good to bring on maybe in the last 25, 20 minutes, because he can pop up with a contribution of some sort, as a goal or assist. So definitely there's space for Tav in the team. Russell Martin's, he's made clear that he's a fan of Tav. Obviously he's played beside him before. So he's here to stay for at least one more season. And whether we go with him as a centre back, I'm not sure. I do think if Connor Cody comes in, then he's another player. He won't be coming up here to sit on the bench, not a chance. Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. But for me, use him when we can. Use Tav when we can. I'd be starting Aaron's from kind of going forward, especially. I think I would probably start him against Panathinaikos. But then again, who's our centre backs? Obviously you've got GASSAMA in the door. Do you trust Fernandez to go straight in there? Obviously you've got Souttar's coming back, so it could be Tav starting at centre back. But it's a it's a good headache to have, in which at least we've got players there to fill the gaps. At least there's not any injuries as of yet. So yeah, there's still time left for Tav, and I hope to see some good moments against him.
And Curry said there, shot me but towards the end of the season, you said needed to go. I can be both. Honestly, Curry, my thought process is, yes, I do believe the best years of James Tavernier are behind him, and his best years for Rangers are probably behind him, but ultimately he isn't going to go. His wage demands are probably high enough that no team, barring kind of Saudi and that, are really going to take him on. So if he's going to be here and he can perform in other areas better than he has at right back, for example, because he has been frail at defence. At centre half, he doesn't seem as kind of frail defensively, but again, it's only short spells that we've seen him there. So it's more trying to make the best of what you have at your disposal. And with Russell Martin saying in the press conference today that James Tavernier and Aarons can play in the pitch at the same time, that tells its own story to me. It tells you that he's got plans with James Tavernier and he's got plans with Aarons and how he's going to utilise both players. So ultimately you just have to accept that and be like, right, well, Tav's going to play whether most like it or not. And yes, he's not announced it yet, but James Tavernier was on in the second half and he had the arms band. That's, again, I don't think he's going to change the captain. James Tavernier will remain the captain of Rangers as far as we're all aware. So yeah, we'll need to wait and see. But Proper moving, no offence to the big man, it's good news for all of us because he isn't good enough for Rangers. We've known for quite a bit of time that he's not good enough for us. So I'll be happy to see the back of him. I really will. Once he moves on. Also, another player that is obviously very close to signing now is GASSAMA. He is already at training at St George's with the team, and according to Russell Martin today in the press conference as well, the only hold up on the whole deal was on Sheffield Wednesday's side due to the kind of difficulties they are having. Ali, you put a thing in the chat about someone speaking about this fella that you know is a Sheffield Wednesday fan. The rumour is about $2.5 million, and most people are saying we're getting an absolute steal, mate.
Yeah, guy at my work, the first email I came into work wasn't an email about work, it was about this boy. About one of the guys down in my head office. He's a big Sheffield Wednesday fan. And he was raving about this boy. He says we've got him for a steal. But we all know Sheffield Wednesday's financial problems at the moment and they've not played players. But he was telling me that at times last season, he says he was unplayable. He says he's lightning quick. He's young. He said he did say he tailed off near the end of the season, but they weren't getting paid at the end of the last season, etc. So maybe that was on with him. But he's young. But he said he's gutted to see him go. He said he said enjoy watching him because he thinks he'll go. He'll play for us and move on somewhere else. He thinks he's that good. So it was good to hear about him. And obviously, you go onto YouTube again and look at the clips and that, and he does look rapid. He can play along the front three. He plays in the left wing for Sheffield Wednesday. And I mean, you look at who we've got in the left wing in terms of Cortez and Matondo. So we're looking for somebody on the left and the right. But he excites me, this guy, Carney. I think he's a guy that will get you off your seats in terms of he'll go and take players on. He's got a trick as well. We talked about it last week in terms of the players we're bringing in. It was more the back line. And as a fan, the front line is the one that excites you because it gets you off your seats in terms of scoring goals and creating goals. I think this guy could be good for us. I really do. Just by talking to the guy for work in terms of how much he was singing his praise. So yeah, I'd be excited to see this guy play because we've cried out for probably since Ryan Kent maybe left. We've had no pace on the wings. I know Cortez is quick, but he doesn't use his pace anymore. We've been crying out for pace on both flanks, and I'm excited to see this boy. I want somebody on the right hand side as well, being selfishly, but no, he again ticks the box, and I've got no grumbles so far in the signings we're doing. But yeah, excited to see this boy.
Scotia, it's been a long time since we are making a signing where people are saying, my God, you're getting a bargain. Usually you don't hear things like that coming out when Rangers are involved in transfers, but there seems to be quite a bit of hype around this fella. There seems to be a lot of people saying, he's destined for bigger things. It looks like Rangers could be getting a bit of a good deal because of the trouble Sheffield Wednesday are having. It's good business in that regard if he is to be that, and the obligatory YouTube videos, he is very quick, and I do think in the wing position with the experience that we're going to have within the midfield, because you can class Raskin as being experienced now. He's played in Europe, he's played with Rangers, he's played with the Belgian national team. He is an experienced player. You've got Rothwell coming into that midfield as well. It's almost okay to have a little bit less experience on the wing, I think, and as I say, with the hype surrounding this one, I'm excited for it to be. It looks like we're just waiting for confirmation from Sheffield Wednesday that everything's all sorted, because everything on Rangers' side is done. What's your take on this one, mate?
Yeah, I'm very similar to Ali. I think you sort of take everything you can from the team, the fans of the team that you're buying from, and the fact that all the Sheffield Wednesday fans are disappointed he's going. I think they're stealing him from him, really. Gives you a bit of confidence. But to be honest, with this transfer, with all transfers this window, I'm completely of the opinion that nothing matters until I actually see them play for a good few times for Rangers. I went down the path of getting excited too many times in the past and been stunned. But no, I agree with Ali that it looks like a promising one. Definitely it's a position we need. Someone with pace and that can play football, so not your Ravi Matondos. That would be quite interesting to see. And I agree with Ali as well. And I'd be quite greedy in wanting something similar on the right-hand side, because I don't really... Cherny last season to an extent, but I don't think we've really done anything with the right side of the pitch up the wing since Candace left. And I mean, he wasn't brilliant, Candace. I'm not saying he was an absolute worldie of a player, but I think we've always had issues there ever since he's gone.
Yeah, I agree. I think the right hand, the right attacking side of whatever formation we're going to play hasn't been right, mate. Since Candace, we've never really had somebody that's nailed down a position. And I can see people saying it's dangerous to be tempting fate. I think Alan said that until he's signed. Russell Martin's come out and said that Rangers have done their bit. So I'm not going to. I wouldn't think that Sheffield Wednesday are going to turn around and say no to it, considering the difficulties they are in. And I suppose Rangers are capitalising on that, but that's football, that's business, and that's the way that you need to do things. So I think it's one that will be announced pretty shortly. I think actually Rangers expected it to be announced already, considering that he's at the training ground and he's already training with the team. So it looks like everything is just a kind of formality now, and we're waiting for it to get over the line. Ross, a left winger with a bit of pace, wants to take players on, looks promising. It must be music to your ears, mate. You must be loving the thought of that, because I say after seeing Cortez on Sunday as well, I was like, I can't believe we're stuck with him. Honestly, I can't.
No, I know. It's a very, very exciting one. The one thing for me is where he's came from. Looking back at his kind of his career, the boys came from PSG's youth academy. If there's any team that you want to watch today that will put you off your seat, it's PSG. Then
I
they're
agree.
more so their youth players as well. You look at the likes of Doe, Barcola, genuinely frightening talents. So the fact that he's coming from there, that in itself is a massive one for me. Russell Martin said it was a point of difference. He'll be a point of difference for us, and that's what we're looking for. Somebody who strikes a bit of fear. The one thing for me, and I hate to say it, the other side of the city, you had to look at Jota when in his prime, Kyogo in their prime. You'd go, right, okay, that's a bit of a sticky one because I'm a bit of a player. I don't think we've had that sort of player who really can, just have that impact. So that for me, if we can bring somebody in, like it sounds like this guy is, then I'm so for it. He's 5'8" as well, so he's just that kind of winger that, again, he'll probably have a good FIFA card there. I've said it. But yeah, he's definitely one that I'd love to see sooner rather than later. Obviously we do have these bounce games coming. I think they're playing tomorrow at St George's Park. Whether he'll be, I don't know. There'll be some fan in the trees, I'm sure, trying to get a photo of the squad. Whether he's actually in the team or not, like, it's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? Obviously, there's Sheffield Wednesday kind of situations going on. But let's get him in the team. Let's get him playing. 47 games from last season. He's experienced. Let's get him on that wing. Because we desperately need it.
I mean, again, without tempting fate, we're signing a player without an injury record, and again, it's a breath of fresh air to me. I'm like, brilliant. It's not a guy that we need to go if only we can keep him fit. It's a guy that, as you just mentioned, mate, played 40-odd games last season. He's clearly ready to go. He's clearly at the point where he's properly developing now as a football player. And yeah, as I said, there's nothing I can say that's bad about this one. For me, it gets me quite excited, this one, and hopefully that things are over the line pretty soon, and we'll see him playing for Rangers in no time at all. But yeah, I think it's very close to being confirmed. Earlier in the week, Allied Rangers were linked with Majowski, previously of Aberdeen, and it kind of led me to think about where we would want to see quality added still within the squad. Obviously, there's a lot of signings done. Russell Martin made comment again today that there will be players leaving. Cifuentes, Davies, who else didn't he go today? King didn't go. Enciala didn't go. There's way more. There's more that I've probably not mentioned, but they've not travelled down south, so you would expect that they're close to the exit door. Obviously, he made comment as well earlier in the week the fact that Dessers had a knock, but he's now back, and that Igaman had a bit of red tape that he had to get sorted with his visa. But they are now back at training, and they are with the team at St George's. Majowski's always a player I've liked. I thought he set it pretty much in fire in Scotland when he was here. It was a player that when there was the whole Shankland thing happening, I thought, I don't understand why we wouldn't go for Majowski over Shankland if it was ever to be any truth in the links. But Rangers were keeping tabs on him until he moved away. But now, obviously, I don't know if it's just been an easy link because Rangers were previously interested. But Majowski is one that I 100% would take back. I would play him over Dessers every day of the week. I really would. I want to see a striker, Ali. I think Russell Martin has made comment the fact that Rangers will be looking at a striker, but it isn't Jamie Vardy. By the way, and I did see a blacked out Range Rover driving through Glasgow the other day with the reg plate V9 and heading towards Ibrox direction, and I was like, no, just can't be. There's no way. I didn't want to be that guy and put it all over on Twitter or on Follow or anything. So, but yeah, look, I would love to see a striker. I think it all depends how good a striker I want to see in terms. It depends if Igaman stays or Igaman goes. I think Dessers will probably still leave. I think there's still enough interest for him there. I think it'll be a case of just meeting Rangers' valuation. Rangers need to be careful and not to put themselves out of the market with the value we're adding to players. But is there anywhere else in the squad that you would like to see Rangers add? Is there real quality that you want to see added across anywhere in the team?
Yeah, I still want a goalkeeper in. I know we've been linked with one, but I want a goalkeeper the way he wants to play Russell Martin. I don't think Jack Bolton can play it. He wants a goalkeeper who can play with the ball at his feet. I've seen Jack Bolton with the ball at his feet. So very good. I know Scotia mentioned it last week, but yeah, so I'd still be looking at a goalkeeper. I still think we need a left back because I don't think Jeffy and Yilmaz are good enough. You know my thoughts on Jeffy. I think defensively he's awful.
Fortune.
Going forward, I think there's something there with him, but defensively he's not good enough. So I'd be looking at that. I said a centre half I'd bring in. Middle of the park's looking quite good at the moment. Watching that Asgard in the training, he looks a big boy, by the way. He's 6'1" or something.
He's quite a big lad, mate.
Yeah, kind of Joe Aribo kind of build about him. I like the look at him. Obviously, if we get the boy for Sheffield Wednesday, he'd probably go on the left. So you're looking for, what was Scotia and myself were saying, a guy on the right. Basically, that guy from Sheffield Wednesday, if we could get a carbon copy of him on the right-hand side, would be ideal. And a striker. But we're not going to get a striker until one of our strikers moves, because at present we have 3 strikers. I would love to get Danilo off the books. I'd love to get him off the books, but we're not going to get him off the books. Who realistically is going to come in for Danilo? I mean, he off for me, and I hate bashing the guy constantly, but I watched him against Bruges, and I thought he just offers nothing for me. Yeah, I just think he's a bit powder puff up front. So, but nobody's going to come in for him. So, Dessers or Igaman will have to go to bring somebody in. But if it's Miovski, I'd take him all day long. He's scored goals in Scotland before. He would fit the way I think Rangers want to play. He's quick. He can hold the ball up. Scores goals, obviously. He scored goals against Celtic when he was here. I'd have a go at him, definitely. But we need to get players out the door. But that's the positions I'd still be looking at up until the transfer window closes, which is still a good couple of months away. But that's the ones I'd be looking at. Yeah,
Scotia, for you, obviously we are all thinking the business is all going to be done and finished by the time the Panathinaikos game comes around, which is not the case. There'll be players moving in and out probably right up to the close of the window due to the size of the, I suppose you can call it a rebuild now, with the amount of signings that we are making. But is there anywhere still sticking out for you that you think Rangers should really be in the market to improve that position?
No, pretty much agree totally with what Ali said there. Goalkeeper for me is the number one now, I think, in terms of getting someone in to play the style that looks like we're going to be playing. Left back to a lesser extent. I mean, I see there's a few comments there about Jeff, they give him a chance and stuff. Still think Jeffy's perhaps got that leeway in him to offer him a bit more of a chance. I think Yilmaz his injury records run not any good, and it's kind of run this course. It's not worked out the way we were kind of hoping it would do. And yeah, in terms of the strikers, I would be quite happy if the strike force was to remain as it is right now with Dessers and Igaman.
Oh, you're going to upset chat. You're going to upset chat. Oh,
I'm not including Danilo in that. But don't get me wrong, and like if it does stay the same in the third game into the season, Dessers is having an absolute mare, I'll be pulling my hair out and I'll be slating him for it, and I'll be a complete hypocrite. But at this moment in time, I wouldn't be too disappointed if it was as it was. But if one of them were to leave, definitely bring someone in. And then also, we've not really even touched on folk coming in for our players. Still a wee bit worried about folk coming in for Raskin later on in the window, particularly once sort of the bigger clubs start doing business. That's when I think we need to be prepared for maybe some bids in there that we can hopefully fend off, because I'd like to see Raskin stick around for another season at least.
Yeah, no, 100%. You're right, mate. Obviously, with the Club World Cup as well, has delayed quite a lot of transfer movements in and out until that's over and done with. When's it finished, Scotia? You'll know when's that done.
It's the final not tomorrow night or Sunday night. The semi-finals are earlier in the week.
So as soon as that money-making nonsense is over and done with, the better, in my opinion. I think it's a lot of nonsense, and I haven't watched a single minute of it. I'm not even going to lie. So
I've enjoyed it.
Have you?
What I've
Good
seen
for
of it,
you,
it's
Scotia.
actually been
But
quite
you
good.
enjoy going to watch Scotland, mate. No offence, but you do go and enjoy and watch Scotland, and I'm like, I mean, really? Yeah. No, I'm only kidding, mate. You can be a Scotland fan. It's fine. I'm only kidding. But obviously the market's still slow, really, in that regard. Even though we're doing a lot of business right now, but there is still a lot more to come. And it's a good point Scotia makes, Ross, there. Like, we haven't really thought about the players going out. We are thinking that everything needs to be done by Panathinaikos. Maybe we need to hold our horses a little bit and we can see what happens. Is there any position for you would like to see? Are you happy like Scotia is? Would you be happy with Dessers and Nagaman going into the new season, and Danilo as third choice? Which I honestly, and people who are in the chat will say it as well, I honestly can't see it in Danilo. I honestly can, and I've tried to see it in him, and I'm like, I don't get it. Even had a chat with Stevie for 4 lads about it. He's like, I get no service on Sunday. I'm like, Stevie, man, like, he's not good. He's not a good player. But what's your thoughts, mate? Is there anywhere standing out for you that Rangers should still be looking to do business in?
As much as we've brought two of them in, I still think centre back's potentially an issue. I don't know. It's just, I mean, I was looking at the squad earlier on, and I've highlighted out of the names there. There's, you've got Fernandez, you've got Giga, Suter, and then potentially Tav. Obviously around that you've got Ben Davies, Leon King, Inciala, and potentially Dujon Sterling. If one of them gets, if Fernandez is the maybe the he can't play every week. Say, God forbid, Jiga or Suter get injured, we're stuffed. We are absolutely stuffed. So I'm still kind of looking at that centre back position. That for me is where Connor Cody would come in. I know that he's the one who has been linked for. It does seem like an awfully long time just now. I do hope that does go through. I do think a centre back's potentially still there's still potential there for a player to come in, especially again when we get to November, December, and we're playing every 3 days. We need some security there. And I do think, obviously, we're bringing in this exciting winger. Could you potentially bring in another one? I was very impressed with Finlay Curtis at the weekend. I thought the boy was outstanding. And I was so chuffed him to get a goal as well. It was not an easy finish under, because ultimately, if you don't score that, it's a 2-1 loss. So the guy's got a big ceiling for me. I still maybe want one more. I don't know if that's just me being a bit greedy, but you look at just now, you've got Cortez, you've got Gassama coming in, Finlay Curtis, Asgard can play there. Obviously, we probably want to see him through the middle, and then Barami. Dare I say
and
that?
by the way, I literally was going to mention Barami after we started talking, because you're right to bring up Curtis, mate, 100%. But Barami in that second half, I was like, where have you been? Who is that guy? I mean, maybe that's one that will make a step forward, and I hope it does, because I thought he was fantastic in that second half.
100%. He's whenever we were linked with him, especially when you look at the Albanian national team fans on Twitter, they're waxing lyrical about him. I hope we see that about Barami. So he's definitely put himself in the pecking order for a start against Panathinaikos, and I can't quite believe I'm saying that, but here we are. I do hope that Barami can come to be a player that we want him to be, but definitely for me, centre back and a winger. If the striker, if we do go into the season with Danilo, Dessers, and Igaman, it's not the end of the world. Obviously, I know that there's, we would all have a striker. I'd love a certain number 9 Tony Goals to come back, literally more than anything in the world. But we do have some decent options there just now. And especially for me, I'd be keeping Igaman anyways. I think striker-wise, I'd say I'd take Igaman over Majovski. I know that might be a bit controversial, but I think 100%. If we can keep Igaman, then I'd be starting him this season. So, yeah, centre-back, winger, and that reminds me, keep Igaman. That's none of that. Honestly, the boys are talent.
I would also keep, but I would keep Agaman as much as we could. I think that it's more what bids, if any, do come in. Will it match Rangers' valuation of him? Rangers do hold the cards in that regard due to his contract length. But again, even Majowski coming in, if say Dessers was to go, with Igaman was to stay, I don't mind having two quality strikers maybe fighting for the one position. They might both play. Maybe we're going to play two up top. We don't really know yet, as Scotia mentioned earlier on the show, that we don't know what really Russell Martin's going to stick to and what formation he will stick to. So it's definitely an intriguing one. I think there's a lot more business left to go. I don't think it'll all be done and dusted by the Panathinaikos game even. Not very far from it, to be honest. I think there'll still be a lot to go. It's going to take time to offload some of these players that are not kind of surplus to requirements now. They will have been told that you're not part of the plans going forward. You don't fit the profile of what we want to do here anymore, and it's kind of time for you to move on. But I'm intrigued to see what players do decide to step forward, and I'm intrigued to see what actual formation we choose to play going forward. That will almost do us for tonight. Again, a bit of a shorter one tonight because I am beginning to melt. I'm not even joking. I am beginning literally to melt away. But I just wanted to quickly give everybody a heads up about our second channel now. So Club at 22 Off the Pitch. Should be a pretty good one coming. I think it will drop on Sunday. Obviously, you all know Ali turned the big 5-0, big 4-0 not too long ago there. And Ali goes on a Waverley every year for the past, 10 years, Ali? Is it 10 years?
Yeah, me and Gemma were trying to calculate it. We think it's about 10 plus years, yeah.
So, and I've yet to go. I've always come up with an excuse not to go, to be honest. I have seen videos of what happens on said Waverley at said times. I thought, don't know if I fancy being in that state at 2:30 in the afternoon. But the Ali decided to put this out for his 40th before his surprise party, so I had to buy a ticket for it. So I am going on the way, and what a day for it. Actually, tomorrow's to be an absolute scorcher, and I am genuinely looking forward to it. I really am looking forward to going. I think it'll be a great day. But we're going to film it for Off the Pitch. Ali, we'll film as much as we can. I'll wake up with a sore head on Sunday. I'll try and edit something together, and we'll put it out and we'll see what it's like.
Yeah, you'll be able to film us walking on it or whatever. That'll be fine.
Yeah.
And the beginning of it when it probably gets to Kilcraig, and it's a cracking day. Me and Scotia have done it for like you say, 10 years, whatever it is. My dad gets on it as well at Kilcraig, and it goes down to Rothsay, which is some good pubs down there as well. Good Blue Nose pubs down there as well, Carney, which you'll be pleased to hear about too.
Well, and Rossi.
Yeah.
Ali, I grew up in Weems Bay, mate. I'm pretty well aware of Rossi, mate. To be honest, I wasn't sure if you'd
been there much, Carl.
I've been to Rossi many times in my life, mate.
There
yes.
You go.
That was the holidays when you're in Weems Bay, mate. That's where you went your holidays.
There's a few decent bars there, but no, it is a good laugh. The weather for tomorrow is phenomenal. Probably too hot, to be honest, for it. But I'm looking forward to. Obviously, you lads are coming. There's a few others coming as well, which will be interesting. But it'll be a good. I think it'll be a good vlog as long as we can behave ourselves to a point. I think it'll be a good watch for the listeners. So yes, I am looking forward to it, and I will see you at. I think it's just after 9 o'clock sharp tomorrow morning.
I know. I don't know what I've let myself in for here. I really don't. I've got 2 kids, mate. I can't handle the scandal anymore. I really can't. Jim, mate. Thank you so much, mate. Very much appreciated, Jim. Always there, mate. Really do appreciate that. That's brilliant. Scotia. Best behaviour tonight. You've been warned. Bed early.
Yes.
Up. Yes. You've been well warned now. Okay. Publicly warned now as well. So, but you look forward to tomorrow, mate.
Yeah, it's really looking forward to it. I was just thinking, Ali, I think pretty much, barring 1 year, I think every year we've been on it, the weather has actually been spot on for it. We've never really been under too bad weather for it. So tomorrow looks absolutely brilliant. Very light winds as well, so it'll be a cracking day. Really looking forward to it.
There you go. There's the weather as well from Scotia there. Neil Oliver giving you all the weather. So everybody now knows what the weather is. And Ross, you would have been invited, mate, but I don't think you like seawater, mate. I know you like water, but seawater's probably not the best for you.
Yeah, I've lost my fake ID, unfortunately, so I need to pass for me, unfortunately. I'll be there at the end to pick you up. I'll be the designated driver. That'll be me.
Don't say things like that, mate, because when I'm pissed on it about 7 o'clock tomorrow night, I'll phone you like, Ross, yeah, you said you'd pick me up, mate.
No, that's right. Okay, I might need to reconsider my choices there. But no, listen, it sounds like a good day out. Plenty of food in you gents. But I always have a class day. I'm looking forward to seeing it Sunday. And yes, if you see them on the boat, maybe go and say hi. Maybe I don't know. Or just leave them to it. We'll see. But no, I'm looking forward to it, gents. And thank you for today as always.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it myself. I'm looking forward to it. I say I'll film as much as I can. At a point, I'm sure the beer will take over and I'll forget to film. But we'll film as much as we can. I'll put it out, and it's just a wee bit just to show you. It's just a different way. Us behind the camera, if you like us, when we actually generally do all go out with each other and kind of go drinking with each other and have days out with each other. But I'm really looking forward to it. The weather when I met Ali last week. He's like, seen the weather for next Saturday. I was like, I've not even checked, mate. And I was like, well, it's going to be a scorcher. So I'll be bathing in Factor 50 because I've got the Scottish skin where I just turn red if I look at a light bulb for too long. So I will be bathing in the old Factor 50, but yeah, very much looking forward to it. That will do us for tonight, everybody. Please do like the video, subscribe to the channel, all the usual stuff. We will be back, as I say, on probably Sunday. It won't get done tomorrow. It will be Sunday that it will be up over on our other channel, and the link for that channel is in the description for this podcast. To save my health, I'm just going to go because I'm warm and I need to get out of this room. So again, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you for the members. Thank you for the donations as well. Really do appreciate it. We'll be back on Sunday with Off the Pitch, and then we'll be back next week with Club Live. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. Enjoy the good weather while it lasts. Hopefully it's here for a while, but it doesn't look too promising. But enjoy your weekend because it is going to be very good weather. We are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast, and we'll speak to you all next time. Cheers, everybody.